Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 5 English lesson or 5 to 8 English lesson on related words. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. All right, so once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username and password, we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 5, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of related words. All right. So when it comes to related words, right? We said related words is our chapter. Our subject is English language arts. We're doing grade 5 to 8, and the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of related words. All right. So now we are doing related words. We're going to select the word that don't belong. And when we look at the word related, right, it's words that are either the same, right, as one another. So we are going to find that out today. Words that are related. And we're going to identify words that are not related to one another. All right, so related words. So related words, like we said, it is words that we can say are relating to one another or relating to another word, right? So it's relating to the words or vocabulary of a language. And also another word for related words, it's words whose meanings are close enough to the synonym, right? Or synonymy group to be of interest to the user. So which means that it's where the meanings are almost the same, right? And that is why we say it is related words, not the actual word, but because of the meaning of the words that are almost the same. All right. So when it comes to our meanings, right, or words that are either related to or not related to, we're going to find that out today, right, by going on aplusstudents.ca. So we're going to aplusstudents.ca and we're going to see what are the words whose meanings are either close enough or words that are basically where the meanings are basically the same, or if they are in a group of interest to the meaning of the words that might be the same. All right, and if we look at this word here, it says we need to select the description that doesn't belong, right? So we have the word sometimes, we have the word never, done, and always. So sometimes, never, done, always. If we look at that group of words, sometimes, never, done, and always, what are the words that doesn't belong there? Just one word that doesn't belong. All right. And if we look at the word that doesn't belong there, if we look at the word sometimes, right? Sometimes means that it's not always, but it's now and then. Never also gives you an idea. It's like, okay, it's like never gonna happen. Done means that something is completed, and always mean it's reoccurring, right? It's always gonna happen, right? So if we were to identify the word that doesn't belong, that doesn't even it doesn't even make sense with the other words and its meaning, and then we can say it is done, right? Because done means it's completed. So the word sometimes, never, and the word always, they describe how often something happens. It's either happening sometimes, it's either happening never, or it's always happening. Right? Whereas with done, it means it is completed. So done doesn't belong. So, as you can see, if you look at these words, sometimes, never, and always, these are related words. It is words, right, that has a meaning that is similar to one another. So, if we look at the words sometimes, never, and always, the meaning of that words, right, it basically describes how often something happens. That's not the actual meaning, but it just basically gives us a description of how often something happens. It either happens sometimes, it happens never, or it always happens. But done is something different. All right, we're going to look at more word. It says we need to select the word that doesn't belong. We have announce, we have tell, we have write, and we have say. We need to identify the word that doesn't belong within that sentence. What is the word that doesn't belong within that sentence? Announce, tell, write, or say. All right. And if we look at the words that doesn't belong, right, then we can say right doesn't belong. Yes, well done. Right doesn't belong. Because right is it's an example where you are writing a letter, writing a statement, you're jotting down certain things. Whereas the word announce, tell, or say, it is like where you are speaking about something. You're speaking aloud, right? So to announce is to say something. I'm making an announcement and I'm announcing that mm-mm-mm. I'm telling someone something. I'm saying this, right? It is basically where I'm speaking aloud, right? By saying something, by telling you something, by announcing it, right? So, which means that the words that are related to one another are words like announce, tell, and say. Write is something totally different. Write is where you are jotting certain things down, right? So write is not where you are saying something, but write is where you are writing something down from on a paper, right? It's not saying something out loud. Someone needs to read that in order for them to know what you're writing. So well done. Announce, tell, and say are the words that are related to one another, whereas write is something different. Write doesn't belong. Let's look at the next one. Yeah, it says we have the word we have the word measure, we have the word carve, chop, and we have the word slice. We need to now identify the word that does not belong. Yes, well done. We're writing on paper. Nowadays, you even have a pen to be writing on your iPad, right? So now here we have four words: measure, carve, chop, and slice. We need to identify the word that doesn't belong within that group of words that is related to one another. All right. And if we were to identify the word that doesn't belong within that sentence, not even the sentence, with that group of words, because it's not a sentence, a word that is not related to the other words that we have identified. And then we can say the word measure. Yes, measure doesn't belong, right? But the word carve, chop, and slice, they basically mean something. It means to cut up something. You carve something with your knife, you chop something up with your knife, you slice it with your knife, right? So carve, chop, and slice, they are words that are related to one another, right? And it's to do with cutting something or a way in which you can cut something. But measure is totally different, right? So which means that measure doesn't belong. It's not related to those three words, which is carve, chop, and slice. So well done. Measure doesn't belong. All right, let's go next and let's look at more examples. All right, if we look at more examples, right, before we go to our test, we have south, we have country, we have north, and we have west. What is the word that is not related to one of those words? What is the word that doesn't belong in that group of synonymy words that doesn't, that doesn't belong in that group? What is the word? All right, and if we were to identify the word that doesn't belong, then we can say country doesn't belong. And the words that are related to one another are words like south, north, west, right? It is to do with your direction point, your cardinal direction, right? Where we have north, south, east, and west. Yes, country doesn't belong. But the words south, north, west, those are cardinal points. We have our four cardinal points, which is north, west, south, and east, right? Over the country, it doesn't belong. Unless we had to put a few countries, then it was related to one another, but country doesn't belong there, right? But words that are related to one another is south, west, and north because it is to do with the cardinal directions or direction points. All right, the next one is we have words like eye, hand, cheek, nose. Which word doesn't belong? Eye, hand, cheek. and knows. We need to identify the word that does not belong over there. All right, and if we were to identify the word that does not belong within that sentence, not even the sentence, those words, right? Words that are not related to one another. And then we can say hand. So hand doesn't belong. Because if you look at the other words, right? The other words are basically all words that is to do with, your face or parts of the body, but that's in, that is to do with the face or that's in the face. Like, for example, your eyes, your cheeks, your nose, right? Hands doesn't belong there. So eyes, cheeks, and nose, those are parts of the body that is part of your face, right? Like your eyes is part of your face, your cheeks, your nose, your ears, right? Your mouth, those are parts of your face, of a person's face. But hands, yes, it's a body part, but it's not related to what it's actually related to. Eyes, cheeks, and nose is related to a person's face, right? That is what the meaning is. Whereas hands, it is a body part, but it's not related to a person's face on the body, right? All right, let's do the last one and then we're going to our test. We have words like breakfast, we have eggs, lunch, and we have dinner, right? So we need to select the word that doesn't belong. All right. And a word that doesn't belong, right? We have breakfast, we have eggs, we have lunch, and we have dinner. And if we identify a word that doesn't belong, we can say eggs don't belong. If we had to look at different breakfast choices, we could have said eggs is a breakfast choice, right? It's related to breakfast. But in this case, right, this now, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, supper, those are words that name your different meals of the day. So it names the meals for the day. Meaning in the morning we have breakfast. In the afternoon we have lunch, at night we have dinner. Eggs is related is it's like one of the meals that you need to add into those into or let's say it's a food or a staple that you need to add into that specific meal. It's either we're having eggs for breakfast or we're adding eggs for lunch or we're adding an egg on a steak or something like that, right? So egg does not belong because we are not naming the meals. Egg is not naming a meal, right? Breakfast, dinner, and lunch, these are words related to one another because they name the meals for the day. In the morning, we have breakfast, in the afternoon, we have lunch, and at night, we have dinner. Those are the three words that are related to one another. But eggs doesn't belong. Eggs belongs within the meal of the day, but it's not a meal. It doesn't name a meal. All right, so now we're going to our test where we are going to select the words that does not belong. All right, so we need to select the items that doesn't belong within these four words that we have. We have ruler, timer, watch, and clock. Ruler, timer, watch, and clock. What doesn't belong? Ruler, timer, watch, and clock. The word that doesn't belong. All right, then if we were to select the word that does not belong over there, and then we will say ruler doesn't belong, right? Yes, well done. Ruler doesn't belong. Option one. Timer, watch, and clock. That is to do with time. But ruler is to do with measuring or objects. So well done. We need to select the item that doesn't belong. We have glue, ribbon, string, and rope. Glue, ribbon, string, and rope. Which one doesn't belong? Glue, ribbon, string, and rope. And yes, if we were to select the item that doesn't belong, glue doesn't belong, right? Ribbon, string, and rope, it's something that you can tie. But glue is something different. So well done. We need to select the action that does not belong. We have style, shampoo, boil, and cut. Style, shampoo, boil, or cut. We need to select the word that does not belong. All right, and the word that does not belong, we have style, shampoo, boil, and cut. Boil doesn't belong. All right, boil is like where you are either putting on a kettle of water and you're boiling something. Styling, shampoo, cut, that is to do with our hair, right? It's like you're making your hair very nice, very demure, right? So style, shampoo, and cut. So well done. Boil doesn't belong. Well done. All right, the next one says poorly, slowly, swiftly, quickly. Which one doesn't belong? We have poorly, slowly, swiftly, and quickly. We need to identify the word that does not belong. It is not related to the words. And the word that doesn't belong, we say it's poorly, slowly, swiftly, and quickly. Yes, option one, poorly, doesn't belong. Words like slowly, swiftly, quickly, it basically tells us how something is being done, right? I'm either doing it's your pace that you're doing it. You're either doing it slowly, chopped up swiftly, or quickly, right? But poorly does not belong. So well done. All right, we need to select the action that doesn't belong. We have announce, write, tell, say. Announce, write, tell, or say. The action that does not belong. Announce, write, tell, or say. All right. Yes, and if we were to select the action that doesn't belong, then yes, we're going to say write because writing is where you are writing, you're jotting down something, right? You are not saying it out loud. So announce, to tell, or to say, it's where you're saying something out loud, right? Somebody can hear you. But with writing, it's like you're putting your thoughts to words, right? So you're just writing it down, but you're not saying it out loud. Whereas announce, tell, and say, that three words are related to one another because they say something out loud. So well done. We will end in 6 minutes time. All right, so we need to say select the place that doesn't belong. The place that doesn't belong. We have moon, hive, den, or nest. Moon, hive, den, or nest. The place that doesn't belong. And if we were to select the place that does not belong, we would select the place, yes, which is the moon. Option one, the moon, right? Because if you look at the words hive, den, and nest, those are three places we'll maybe find animals that live in, right? We'll either find the bees having a hive, that you have a den, we have a nest for birds, right? So these three places are related to one another, right? And that basically shows a place where animal lives. But moon, we don't know who lives on the moon, right? Nobody. So well done. Moon is great. Swing, sweep, scrub, wipe. Select the activities that doesn't belong. Sweep, swing, sweep, scrub, wipe. The activity that does not belong. And a word that doesn't belong, we can say it's swing. Yeah, because swing is an activity that you play with in a park. But sweeping, scrubbing, and wiping, that is to do with cleaning. These three words are related to one another and it's to do with cleaning, right? We either sweeping the house, scrubbing the floors, wiping the counters, wiping whatever, right? So well done. All right, the next one, almost done. We need to select the description that doesn't belong. Foolish, clever, friendly, unintelligent. Foolish, clever, friendly, and intelligent. Which word does not belong? Foolish, clever, friendly, and intelligent. Words that doesn't belong. And if we were to select the correct answer, let's go with friendly. Foolish, clever, unintelligent is to do with your intellect, right? Either clever or you're not clever. All right, let's do the last one and then we're done. Sneaker, giggle, chew, and chuckle. Which one doesn't belong? This is the last one. Sneaker, giggle, chew, chuckle. So either sneaker, giggle, chew, or chuckle. The last one. Which one doesn't belong? All right. And if we were to select the word that doesn't belong, we will say chew does not belong. Sneaker, giggle, and chuckle. Those three words are all related to one another because it's either to do with you're laughing or you're giggling. It's like you're giving off like like a soft laugh, right? You're not laughing out loud, but you're like giving off like a soft laugh or whatever. So sneaker, giggle, chuckle. But chewing is something different, right? You can either chew food, bubble gum, or so on. All right, so chewing is correct. So well done, guys. All right, so this is the end of our lesson on related words. We said the related words are words, right, that have basically it's like a group of words with similar meanings to one another. It's not synonyms, but it's synonymy groups or synonymy words where they are kind of related to one another, right? And then we had to select words that does not belong within this group of words that means the same thing or almost the same thing, right? All right, so this is the end of our lesson on related words. Thank you very much, grade 5, for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good weekend further. Goodbye.